Oh, hello everybody. It's a while since I've done a live stream on Facebook. I just wanted to make sure the technology still works. It took a little bit of, remembering how it all fits together. I've just done a Zoom TV interview with a European news network about pet theft in Britain. And it made me realise that the eyes of the world are in fact looking at us at this moment. I think pet theft is a particularly British crime. I think that our love of our pets has meant that, well, our criminals know us very well. And whilst the debate on Monday finished on a fairly, well, wasn't a down note, it was an up note, it was a, we'll come back to you. We're hoping that, we actually do get some proper deterrence soon, but, well, it is looking like it's so obvious we need to do something. So if you were thinking of maybe emailing your MP, good time to do it, just to say thank you for, if they did speak at the debate. We know it was oversubscribed, more MPs wanted to speak than did. So it may be that they tried to, but couldn't get, weren't lucky in the draw. So just presume maybe that they did try and attend and say, maybe quote some bits out of Hansard for them. I'll put a link next to this, but several of the MPs did say they had more emails about pet theft than COVID and Brexit put together. Now that's something big. That should compute in their brains to thinking, wow, this is something much easier to fix than those two, that isn't going to cost the country any money and can be done with like a magic wand. Make pet theft category 1. It's our most important theft. It's got the biggest impact. There's nothing that could be stolen that would mean more, apart from kidnapping. It is dog napping, cat napping. It's not quite the same connotation, but it is a family member. And that was the other thing that the debate made me feel slightly happier about, was the number of MPs confident about stating that the pet is a member of the family. Now, a decade ago, when I was talking to politicians, they were always couching it in terms of not wanting to look soft, not wanting to alienate people who didn't have pets. Now they realise, no, even if you don't have a pet, you understand the bond. Maybe as a child you had a pet. Maybe you're looking forward to a time in the future when your life allows you to have a pet. But 80% of people actively like dogs. 80% of the electorate. Now, you don't want to piss that off, do you? So, time to email your MP. Just a little reminder to say, you are going to be there on Friday, aren't you, for the second reading of the Animal Sentencing Act? Because at the moment, we're the poor man in Europe when it comes to animal cruelty. 6 months is the maximum you can get for even the most barbaric cruelty. Now, that's just no deterrent, is it, at all? I mean, because no one ever gets 6 months. They always get, if they plead guilty, they get less. And that's what the judge has got to work with. They never give the maximum. I mean, hardly ever. So it's going to go up to 5 years, which still is not as strong as America or loads of other places that value cruelty as a lot more serious than that. So this is a no-brainer. Make sure your MP's in the House on Friday and cheering that through. We don't want no upskirter saying object like we did all those years ago. I mean, because we'd have got this through if it wasn't for troublesome people. And also Brexit and COVID, But yeah, Friday, concentrate on animal sentencing, but also say, what is going to happen with pet theft? Because the consensus was we need a proper deterrent. And the minister said, well, 2 years wasn't really going to help, was it? Now, 2 years is better than nothing. And at the moment, that's what most pet theft crime results in. Only about 1.5% of these crimes that are reported get solved. And of those that get to court, well, I defy anyone to find anybody who's got a decent custodial sentence. Yes, it's not that difficult to look up, really. I mean, we did, Dr. Daniel Allen has done another wonderful piece of data crunching. And unfortunately, the first few months of this year are worse than the whole of last year when it comes to pet theft. And detection levels are so low. And I was doing a radio interview yesterday on BBC Radio Sussex and Surrey, and a policeman messaged in to say that was the worst bit of his job, was when someone reported a pet theft, having to tell them that the law currently only sees them as possessions and things. And yeah, it breaks his heart. So email the MPs. Keep being persistent, because it is getting there. They're really impressed by the response. And also slightly heartened, because this is something they can fix. So do keep chipping away, literally chipping away. We've been coming up with mad ideas for the new hashtag for the petition to have one database instead of the 13 that we've got at the moment for dogs and cats. One database and no illegals doing their own thing. And for vets to scan on the first appointment. And it doesn't have to be the vet that does the scan. It could be the receptionist, and it could be part of the booking in when you fill in your first appointment information, your home address, your phone number. They check on the database and they check that your details are correct on the database. It doesn't need to be a formal thing where they fall out, just part of their new client clock in, but make it the law that one of the things is it's legal. You have to have a chip and it has to be up to date on the database. And obviously you shouldn't have a first appointment without someone verifying that. Now, take the embarrassment out of it, make it that everyone has to do it. So it's not a case of, oh, well, I won't take my dog to that vet because I don't want them to check my chip. Every vet should do it. And all of a sudden, the market for stolen dogs and cats becomes a little less interesting, because very quickly the pets are reunited if they sell them on. Sadly, we know that they don't just sell them into loving homes. There's lots worse things. And the dogs can be used for breeding. There's lots. Oh, I don't want to depress you. Email your vet? No, email your MP. Okay. End of lecture. Go and have a cup of tea. Get on with your day. And I think I've learned how to do the technology again. Yippee!